to Do a Skid episode 3, and today we have an awesome special guest, probably the most mountain biking, consider it's a mountain biking related podcast, it's probably the most mountain biking themed one we've done so far. We have
Adam Coxon.
Adam Coxon with us.
Hey guys, you alright?
From Skillsloop, awesome mountain bike coach. So the plan is what we're going to be doing. We're going to be
blushing.
Oh, could Photoshop that out in the camera. So we're going to be talking to Adam a bit about his history, what got him into mountain biking coaching, history in biking and so on. Then we're going to do what I'm really looking forward to. It's kind of a psychology session where Ad is going to dissect Cooper's brain and his fear of mountain biking.
Figure out my fear of mountain biking once and for all.
And why he can only turn right for the first 5 minutes of riding, and you're going to fix him. You know when like really devout Christian parents then their kid's gay, and then they we need to send him somewhere to be fixed, and obviously it's not. You know what I mean? Yeah. Obviously nothing wrong with that at all, but that's what they're like.
Yeah, I get that, yeah.
I feel like I'm doing this to Cooper. I need him to be fixed. I need you to make him normal. Yeah.
Oh, that worked.
Does that work?
There we go. You are healed, child.
Hallelujah.
So I'm like the disturbed, devout Christian parent, mountain biking parent that I want him to fix. And then right at the end, we're going to go through some Q&A questions, which Adam has put out to his bunch of his followers on his social networks.
Thank you everybody for taking part in that.
Yeah, so we've got some Q&A questions about mountain bike coaching and so forth that Ad's going to answer. So
I've got some questions as well.
You've got lots of questions.
Good questions.
Yeah.
Good.
It's going to be good.
Let's kick it off then. So, over to you. Tell us about you. Bit of history, what got you into biking and led to this moment in time.
So, probably just started from the kind of start, I guess. So I was born, which always helps. And then, obviously, as a kid, kind of got into riding, as we mostly all did, bikes. And then, kind of going through school, got into trials a little bit more. So that's where it all started becoming a little bit more serious.
We've got a picture of you actually as a kid doing some trials, I think. There we go, look.
Yeah, I think it was about 14 there. So about 14, 15, could be 16. But I used to ride with a guy called Wayne, Ginger Man, if you've seen him on Instagram. He's still hopping around.
Cooper's open jaw looking at that picture.
Why would you want to balance between two hard places on a soft looking thing?
It's pretty.
It just goes.
I think it was an old piece of door or something.
Oh my god!
Pretty good fun. But that's where it all started.
Yeah.
So that's where I learned to back up. So in the kind of back garden, even in the kitchen, my mum will kind of nod at this. I used to practice indoors when it's raining. So
off the counter.
Off the counter, yeah. Tap the kettle, across the toaster, into the sink.
Yeah. That's one Danny Macaskill has done, yeah, in the kitchen.
In the kitchen.
There we go.
Danny, if you watch it.
I once jumped up onto the kitchen surface and cracked the ceramic hob.
You see something? Yeah. Like a photocopier, but a ceramic hob.
Yeah.
Was it turned on?
No, it was on.
It's relative. Yeah, so trials riding happened, and then that dwindled into actually getting off road. So I started dabbling into downhill. So more aggressive. Again, I think I've got a couple of photos of my old bikes.
Yes.
So
these ones.
Yeah. So there's a few there. So on the top you've got the GT. There's the Rebel Trials bike. That was a bit of an eBay purchase of
the classic no saddle there.
Yeah, no saddle. Who needs saddle? And I did your trick actually with a bit of carbon wrap on top because when I was doing the tail whips, it kept on being marked, so I put some on. If you've not seen that video, make sure you go and watch it because his rap video is really cool.
Cheers, so, yeah. It's a random idea and it came out pretty good.
It's really, really good. And then right at the bottom, if you can see with my big head, you will see that is a Yeti. I think it's a 575. That's probably about 2 sizes too big, small. Sorry, but really, really nice bike. I think that was only about think it's about 700 quid. That was like it was a lot of bikes. 700 quid. I was like, oh, wow. But yeah. So that was like the kind of getting back into riding.
Fox shocks on it.
Yeah, and all Kashmir as well.
Nice.
It's kind of going forwards from that. I got into the downhill scene. I don't know if you've got the other one.
Yeah, we've got the other one of your bikes. Yeah, we've got some here. More bikes,
So
downhill bikes.
The top one was a Marin Quake that weighed as much as a tank. It was like horrendous, but bomb-proof, like really good fun. And then the Session 10. I don't know if you've seen a Session 10. That got so much attention, you would not believe. So
that is
again,
a beautiful bike.
And then right at the bottom, that is my Commensal, which I loved, and that really got me into the whole racing scene and really taking it further. That was thanks to a, when you get the cash back from the loans from when you had a loan.
Oh yeah, get them called.
Yeah, so basically the bank had realised that they shouldn't have given this loan or whatever it was, and then they said, this is their kind of cash, and I think they gave me like $2,000 back.
Nice.
And I was just like, first new bike since I was a kid.
Yeah.
Because all those ones that you've just seen were kind of second and third hand. So that was my first brand new bike.
I want to play a game with Coop. Spot the difference, Coop. What's the difference between the bottom two and the top picture? The main difference that makes them more of a downhill bike.
Right, the top one has got white rims.
Yeah, because black rims help downhill bikes more. Well done.
Faster.
Well, maybe it would help if I knew what a downhill bike was. Because why wouldn't a bike go uphill?
Good point.
Sorry.
Yeah, it's the shocks, the big badass shocks. Look at them all the way up to the.
Can you see it? So that's called a triple crown fork. So basically, it's clamped top and bottom rather than just your normal. So
well, how do the handlebars move? That isn't me asking a silly question.
Yeah, it just moves the same as a kind of motorbike really. So it will turn to about 45 degrees.
About like that.
Yeah, but you don't need it because
going downhill.
Exactly, yeah. And you don't tend to be going through tight, twisty trees. So with the kind of single crown fork, that gives you a bit more manoeuvrability.
I love the look of them.
But
I almost want a downhill bike just for that look. It looks so cool.
It just sitting kind of behind it. I mean, the Trek again was a size too small. It was tiny on me, and because it was an older downhill bike, it was really short. Yeah. But they're good fun, really, really. And just again, a beast of a bike, great fun. Yeah,
awesome.
They're good fun. So the green Commensal is the one that got me into racing. So I started racing about 2015. So that there would be a couple of photos of just like kind of going through racing.
There we go,
so that one was at Farmer John's. John is a great guy. If you've not been up to Farmer John's, definitely go. Have you been to Farmer John's?
No, I haven't. No, it's on. I've got a to-do list of bike parks, and that's on the list.
Brilliant. If you meet John, like big shout out to John, he's the nicest human on the planet, I tell you, and he's just bike mad. So
I like how you've gone over the tyres when there's a gap between them.
Yeah, but can you see those red
arrows pointing this way?
That was actually.
How would you attack that Coop then if you had to go over the tyres?
Right, in my head, I'd be going at it and I'd go, right, I need to jump now. But what in reality, and I'd jump it, but in reality, I'd just go, and then probably squash the tyre, flip over, and then land, and then carry on.
Don't forget the bear at the end of it. So I believe I was the first one down on that day, which is why there's a massive queue and everyone was waiting for someone to go down. Yeah. Thanks to my trials background, I trials it over it, so doing a little tyre bump, and once you get the hang of it and the feeling, like everyone was kind of sending it over it, Rat Boy even scrubbed it, which was really, really cool. So yeah, great day that was. So that's where it all started. As I say, 2015. Team NX2. That's a podium picture. So that was Conquer the Cliff. Great fun, really, really good race. It's a bit more of a street race, so a little bit different to what some people are kind of used to. But
that's the kind of thing that puts me off this kind of thing, though. You call it Conquer the Cliff.
Yeah, because it's cliff. It's good.
What do you want to be called? Caress the butterfly.
Exactly, yeah. The pink fluffy pillow race.
Pink fluffy pillow race. Yeah, so NX2, they were formed by two guys, Hutch and Nath, and it was a very chilled out team, and there was always a great ethos of just enjoy the ride. And it was one of our sponsors, so O'Neill were great. You can see the kits all O'Neill.
Yeah, it's cool. So that's like an urban downhill sort of.
Yeah, so it's great fun. And
I've seen the videos online of like the ones in like foreign countries where they're going down the steps in the air, look mental like the Red Bull
That's
ones.
what that was.
Not as crazy as that, but kind of similar. So there's some steps and stuff which I took a different line to kind of mouse. So I kind of hopped up onto the wall, rode across the wall, and then hopped across the steps to kind of miss it all out. But then they closed it off the following year, which I was a bit gutted about because it was a good line.
Yeah, you probably weren't supposed to do it. That bloody Skillsloop, he's been jumping the wrong wall again.
I was at Skillsloop though, so that was okay. So 2015 was where it all started kind of kicking up into the team, and we did that for a couple of years. It's great fun. It was really, really good.
Yeah.
Have you guys tried just a bit of racing?
Yeah, I mean, I do not like pro racing. Obviously, I like to enter races. Just like wouldn't mind to do a lot of awesome local races. The Winter Classics coming up.
You and me did the. This probably isn't the right thing, but we did the dirty
duathlon. Yeah. So 1 year I ran and you biked, and 1 year the other way around.
Yeah.
And when you biked,
I went head over heels.
yeah, hit an OTB.
For him. No, for a little stump.
Yeah, so I like to do
sniper stumps.
Yeah.
Sniper routes and sniper stumps,
the ones
aren't they? They're just waiting for you to send you off.
So yeah, I like to do a few little ones like that. Like I've never got any like grand illusion of coming like in the top 50 or anything, but I enter them just because it's a nice day out, isn't it? You know, you go, you have a laugh, you see a lot of people.
We came top of our category.
Yeah, we did actually. We were on a podium actually.
There was only 3 people in our category, but we came top of them.
Podium's a podium.
That's it.
It's.
Yeah, and I'll do like the Fox Antifreeze race that's coming up, which is over Cody Brennan.
You can pedal though, can't you? Like I can't pedal the toughy. Hence why they got e-bikes there.
That's the kind of thing you want to say. When we're trying to advertise that you teach how people how to bike.
Like long.
Like big 30, 40, 50 milers. I mean, there's a lot of people that I coach and they do these 30, 40, 50 mile rides, you know, and it's all about trying to get them to do it easier. But they're super fit. As a coach, it's nearly impossible to get a good fitness because you're always coaching, so you can't really train that much.
Hard rock we're doing this year as well. That's always awesome.
I'm so jealous.
Yeah, I love hard rock. And again, it's just a good crack. You just have a good laugh.
That's what it's all about, isn't it? And being with your friends and just being out riding bikes, it's not a day, is it really? That's what this was all about. The Saturday and Sunday, the kind of campfire, the stories, the drunken people falling off the back of the chairs, and it was just fun.
Awesome.
It was great fun.
Good memory. So did you race with any sort of well-known names or any, against anybody we would know or have heard of? Anyone Cooper would have heard of?
There's no one I would have heard of.
Timmy Mallet.
Timmy Mallet. He was a good rider. Yeah. There's the Chuckle brothers. They were from up north though. Really quick.
They actually ride bikes?
Yeah. A tandem? To me?
No.
Only just trying to think. So Elliot Heap, which you'll probably know. So his brother used to ride for the team as well. So Elliot used to ride. I mean, he was a wee pup. Now he's a machine there, isn't he? So we used to ride Danny Hart. We used to ride with him. So what we used to do was hire out the kind of different venues for the actual training. Yeah. And sometimes Danny Hart used to be there at the same time. And of course, you're not going to say no. The only problem is when you say, I got to ride with Danny Hart, what you actually got to do was sit in one trailer with him for the first lift. And then you'd see him for 3 corners and then he was gone. Yeah. That guy is on just a whole different level. Like even at my height of being quick on a bike, when you ride with these kind of pro riders, they are like another level.
Well, I got to ride with Matt Jones actually.
Really?
Yeah, he was at one of the Run and Ride events,
Yeah.
and he was at Hard Rock as well.
Wicked.
So
It's a great event.
on the same thing, I can say I raced against him, and it was very.
Was it him
He was
or-
very different to you. He would have been in a different category completely as well. So not just on the same trailer.
Was it Matt or was it his brother Jono?
Jono was at. Matt was at Hard Rock. No, they were both at Hard Rock actually. Yeah. And
I will have to do it one day.
the Deaconate was at Hard Rock as well.
Really?
Yeah.
He's a fun guy.
The most famous person I've rode with is you.
Really?
Ah.
Really? I mean, it's quite sad in a way, but I'm not the most famous person ever. I'm just little old dad. Yeah, so you kind of got to race with quite a lot of people because of just that race scene. So like conquered the cliff race, Rachel and her chap raced that, and I remember it quite well because her chap had quite a bad off. So there's a stair set, you've got a wall this side, and then you've got a handrail, and the handrail is literally bar height, and you're coming into it red hot, super fast, and he just clipped his bar and it sent him, but he got up like a trooper. I mean, it was a big crash as well. But he got up and it was good. So yeah, you do kind of get yourself blended in and around. Rat Boy, he was always around. The amount of nights that we've spent, you know, with him just kind of chilling, hearing stories and stuff. So
He was also at Hard Rock as well actually.
yeah, he's such a good guy to follow as well because he's so loose, and from a coaching perspective, he's an absolute nightmare because his body position's so far off of where it's meant to be.
But if it works, it works.
It works. It works for him, and he's so loose. It's good.
So obviously the racing, you've got a lot of skills behind you, and you've done a lot of trials biking.
Yeah.
And then that somehow converted into you now doing coaching. So do you want to tell us sort of where the business come from, the birth of Skillsloop?
So before Skillsloop, I worked for Alex, who actually got me into coaching. So that was Chase Skills. You've probably heard of it. You know, it's one of the most well-known coaching companies. And he just kind of headhunted me. So there's a bit more story behind it, but I won't bore you with it. So I went out and shadowed him a few times, and he just looked really, really good, watching people's kind of progression and that type of stuff. And I enjoy helping people in that sense kind of anyway. So went through for all my coaching. So I got all my kind of certificates and all that. And then...
So you actually get like mountain bike, like actual mountain bike certificates for coaching.
Stickers, you get like a little badge.
Like McDonald's.
Yeah, like McDonald's. It's like, I'm a good boy. 1 star, 2 star, 3 star.
No, but like I know you get like PT coaching and stuff like that. So does it fall into that category? Or is it like its own thing?
Yeah, so it's 1 to 5 basically. The greater the number, the more stuff you can do essentially. But it's very much based on the guiding aspect. So the higher the number, you can guide at different heights and you can have bigger groups, etc. Right. It's not always
just bigger mountains.
Yeah. So your skill level isn't based on your level. Like I coach level 4, level 5 coaches, just because their skill is guiding.
Right. Yeah.
So they're very good at taking people on fantastic days out.
Yeah.
So then I help them build their skill set up more, which then in turn helps them kind of coach other people. Yeah. So everybody's
hence the name Skillsloop.
It was the Skillsloop kind of came into like further down the line. So I had to make a very awkward phone call this one day. Just quickly, I lost my job in the broke up from my ex in the December.
What year was this?
So that would have been 2018 December.
Yeah.
Going into 2019, I got made redundant from my job of 10 years, my proper job. Yeah. In the January, and then my dad passed away.
I think I've got a picture of you with your dad here.
Yeah, so it's his fault why I love bikes. So can I say much? It's just what we think. So there's Pops. So that was in the kind of back garden. So it all started off, being on two wheels. So kind of getting back onto the coaching aspect, made a phone call once I realised that I need to do something with my life. I went for different kind of job interviews with proper jobs and just didn't feel it.
You keep calling it proper jobs.
Yeah.
Because I get that from the missus, because I think it's that old saying, if you find a job you enjoy, you'll never work a day in your life. And because I love what I do, you see here we've got like the pool table arcade machines, that, and my missus says to me, "Well, you haven't got a proper job, have you?" But then I always think, well, you found something your passion and you've done it as a job.
My accountant every year has to phone me and question stuff, because he just doesn't understand the whole aspect of coaching, because he deals with multi-million-pound businesses and then he reads mine and it's bike stuff, What's a DJ bike? I was like,
what is a DJ bike?
Have a guess, go on.
Disc jockey bike?
Yeah, you get two turntables and you steer down like this.
He did say disc then. He didn't say anything else.
A downward journey bike?
For me, it sounds a bit too much. The amount of accidents I've had on mine at the moment. Go on.
No.
One more, go on. Come on, guys.
A dirty jogger bike? No.
Dirt jump.
Oh, of course.
Dirt jump bike.
No.
So they're just shaped a little bit different to what your normal mounted bikes are.
Mm-hmm.
So the awkward phone call was that Alex had obviously got me into kind of coaching, and I was now planning on starting up Skillsloop, and Skillsloop had just kind of come to me. The word kind of came into me like in a dream, nearly. So I kind of wrote it down.
Brilliant.
And then I woke up kind of in the morning, and there it was. So that was quite cool. But I spent about a week like kind of scared to make this phone call.
Talking yourself into
and it was just like, because that's like a rival company, but I didn't want it to be, because I really didn't want to burn that bridge.
Yeah.
So kind of picked up the phone, took a deep breath. I was like, right, gonna do this. I phoned him and he answered, and we were talking. I just said that, I'm gonna start up this business. I don't want to be kind of working against you. I want to work. And he just stopped me, and I was just like, what's gonna happen? And then he said, I'm thinking about squashing the the actual kind of business anyway, because he was moving on.
Oh, right.
My heart rate just went. I was like, looking for that. So
it's funny how the universe brings these things together, isn't it? Like it's meant to be.
It just all kind of works out, and it was nice because that phone call was so hard to make, and it was actually something that turned out to be a really, really good phone call. So that actually helped him, because I was able to help him with his kind of bits and bobs, and then Skillsloop was formed. So I think it was June 2019 that it actually went live.
Awesome.
So that's when Skillsloop was born. And then there was 2 massive storms and a worldwide pandemic.
Yeah.
So if the world is telling you not to do something, I think it's trying to, but I'm still here. So
Mate, you only get dealt the cards that you can handle.
That's it. I like that.
Yeah.
That's a good one, though.
So that was it, the birth of Skillsloop then?
The birth of Skillsloop. That's it.
And a job that you, I presume, love from, you're always smiling. I've never seen you not smiling.
I do stop smiling. But the coaching aspect is always the bit I love the most. And when I'm not coaching, I'm grumpy. And you can speak to my girlfriend. Like she's like, you just go out and ride your bike or go and do something. Go to the man cave. You right, mate?
Swapping the chair around a little bit.
I thought he was going to do something.
Yeah, I think he's going to do a stunt.
Dance for me! It's like, put it up.
Can you put it up the chair? See that?
See that? Go on. Hey!
Oh.
I'm not liable for any injuries. Have you got insurance for this room?
Skills chair. We're going to do some skills on chairs in a bit.
You can zoom in on that.
Are you doing yourself an injury?
Just give me a rub there.
Give you a rub, there you go, mate.
Well, you're going to be strong soon. We've got this challenge this year still.
That's good.
We've still got the Spartan coming up.
As he picks a Pepsi.
It's 0 sugar.
0 sugar, thank you. Yeah. Maximum taste.
He did nearly not eat a donut today.
Nearly 90.
I did see them out on the table.
The first day back at work for all the guys, so I bought a tray of donuts, and the keeper coming, he's like, I shouldn't have one because I've not eaten sugar. And he's like, but then if I have one, I'll do something to counteract it. And I was like, right, if you do a 5k, because he's going to Estonia like in a few days, like if you do a 5k in Estonia, I see on Strava you can have a donut.
They're amazing.
So,
Shouldn't give people fast food in advance of
that's it.
This will make you better.
I could see like the Homer Simpson style argument going on in his brain. You know, he was staring at them, drooling. You could show us tricks. We get them as 2 wheels. And how to navigate them.
Have you got one of them? Finger.
No, but I did use one for a little while just to show the way that the kind of bike can move underneath you, but then it's stuff in your bag, and you. I actually brought some beach balls. I thought I brought one beach ball, and those of you who have been on a Skillsloop course will know exactly why this beach ball thing is a thing. But I didn't realise that I brought 10 and they were about this big. But try blowing a beach ball up like every single course and then deflating it.
Oh, yeah.
So they just went in my kind of fancy dress box. Yeah. So I've got loads of beach balls. So if you need a beach ball, just say.
Yeah, so then obviously Skillsloop was a thing, and I've done 2 courses with you now.
Yeah, thank you. Good.
And the one thing, I mean, I will say is that, like, I was debating doing it to begin with, because, you know, you buy upgrades for your bike, and I saw it, and I thought, oh no, there's certain things I need to know. I didn't realise how much, like, you know what I mean? You're on a bike, and it's almost like it's a manly thing. You think, I don't need somebody to teach me. And I know you've said to me in the past, like, you've had people say, oh, I don't want the video because they didn't want their friends to know that they'd been on one. So I've done 2 courses now, and the first one, like, literally, sounds weird, like, changed my life in terms of, like, mountain biking. I was like, I thought I knew stuff until, like, he got on me with the position and all this sort of stuff, and breaking it down and the beach ball and all that sort of things. And, like, that's when I realised, oh my God, that was, like, I went out after that, and it was so worth it. Like, but the hardest thing coming away was, like, remembering to go into those things. So, like, the one finger breaking was a thing, you know, the beach ball position, that sort of. And when you're stuck in a habit, it's like force brain. But now that's natural. And then when I found that was natural, I went and did another course.
You know how, like, when a diver is walking up to the board to dive off, and they go like this.
That's exactly.
That was what it was like after his first skills. It was like,
flips, ankles. It works though, doesn't it? And that's the kind of important thing is that, like, before you do a course, your body will be so used to just being in a position.
And I've done a lot of road biking training for the Ironman, so I mean, remember saying the one thing to me is like, move the bike. So I'm like this.
Speed, arrow.
And even still now, I have to remind myself, oh, I can move the bike below me.
People tend to get really used to bike being kind of separated forwards and backwards, and once you try and get them kind of moving side to side, go on.
I'm sorry. I just remembered about the time you were on a road bike and someone threw a Capri Sun at you.
That was my first time. I was training for the Ironman, right? And I'd done training all winter. I've never rode a road bike before. I'd been training in the garage all winter on a turbo trainer. Right, so first ever road bike ride out. Okay, I'm on a real road.
Clipped on.
Yeah, go on. And then some in-between the style guys come back in this, I can't even remember, it was like some racked up estate. Out the window, hooray! Bounced the Capri Sun off the back of my head. And I was like, you wankers! Of all the things you could have thrown, the most least gangster thing you could throw at somebody is a Capri Sun.
Did it have a straw in it?
Yeah. It was half drank Capri Sun. So I never got that on the turbo trainer. They don't train you for that.
Your ass first.
Yeah.
Oh my God.
So I was all tucked in. You fixed that, and then I booked a second course because I was terrified of berms. Like, well, I wasn't terrified of them. I'd do them, but I knew I was doing it wrong. And I was braking for them, and I was just not doing them properly. And I watched all the videos on that online, and I just couldn't work it out. And then literally within 5 minutes, he was like, told me what to do. Do this, do this, do that. And he was like, you've got it. And then
Because she was that good. That's
you
why.
got this video of me and you go, look at that. And I was like, oh my days. And I looked well, I was sideways.
You was like on the wall of death.
But when I was doing it, I didn't feel it. It didn't, I mean, look at the picture, it looked scary. But during it didn't feel scary. And that's when I knew, like, this was, like, well worth it. And I need to book another one now because my issue now is jumps. I randomly go sideways, which is a common thing. I've watched every bloody GMBN video. I've watched every pink bike how-to video on how to do jumps, how you pop and you compress and make sure the back wheel's coming off and so on. But I know that I'm probably popping too hard and my weight's down on one side. So every so often in the air, I'm like this. And it happens randomly, but I'm just like this in the air, sideways. But that's why I would recommend the courses, because you can do that and do that and do that. But then, like, Ad will stand next to me in the filming, which I'll tell you in a minute, and then he'll go, look at that, look at that, look at that, change that, do this. And the way he explains it is so simple, and then it's just like, then you've got it for life. All you've got to do then is it's your job to remember it then.
That's it, and then keep practicing. Then.
Yeah.
So kind of going back to the filming, so what we do whilst coaching is that we film every kind of bit of it essentially. And what that does is it enables us to use that footage. We can zoom in, and it just lets
and
you
you'll scroll through, like, you know, if you're going over something, go back forward, like okay, look at that point there. That's where that should be, like,
And then you actually can see kind of visually, because sometimes what your brain's telling you is totally different to what's actually happening.
Yeah.
And
all the time.
It's your brain's seeing YouTube, but your body isn't. So it's about trying to get those kind of two things, and it's usually the issue is normally kind of way before the jump. So
if you filmed me, if I came into the skills loop, you go, right, James, this is a berm. You don't go in a straight line down one of these.
That's the racing right now, isn't it? So yeah, it's not too bad.
Some people jump berm to berm.
They need to go to the edge of the berm.
But not too close. Actually been riding
Dodge the stones.
today.
Above the stones.
That cat litter at the bottom.
That's what I ride through.
See, that's the dangerous stuff. That's the stuff that wants to kill you.
Well, when I say that's the stuff I ride through, I'm scooting with one leg through it.
I don't like it. Take me home.
Which I think that probably brings us on nicely to what I've been looking forward to the most.
Dun, dun, dun.
Is
I've got some questions.
So Cooper used to come, bit of a preface, however you say it, to this. Cooper used to come mountain biking with us, and we'd do like the blues and the greens with like my lad and stuff. It was fine, all right. Then we'd start doing like the dog and that, and like literally Cooper. For those who don't know, the dog Cannock Chase, it's a red route, probably not as red as other routes. It's
a family red.
Yeah, it's a family red.
Hang on a minute. That's not as red as most red routes.
No. So their kind of family trails are always a little bit tamer.
Carry on.
So like we'd get to a bit where, like a bit of roots or something like that. I'm trying to think of a good example area where it would be.
You're trying to find an example of something you would do fine and I wouldn't.
Yeah, and you've got off.
Right, so through the dog, there's a little bit where you've got to go on some wooden planks that are that wide, and they go off and around.
On the bridge.
I ride around that bridge.
Is it Watch Out Trials? Something like that it's called?
Yeah. I think it's
where Whaley went, wow!
Yeah,
it's a bog.
It's just before Snakes and Adders.
Yeah.
I always take the actual real path that isn't dangerous.
But even like there'll be some routes and he'll go off and go, I ain't doing this. And then we took him around the monkey, and this was literally him at the end of the monkey. I hate that. How do you enjoy that? I hate it. Why would I want to do that for fun? I feel like I'm going to kill myself.
Do that bit. You're slow mo that.
I do actually do that.
So, but I want, like, so to the point where, like, I started riding more and more of that, obviously, over time, and then, like, Cooper's sold his bike, and I want him to get another bike. So I really want, when I go out, we go out the lads, and there's a good group of us go out. I want Cooper to be with me. Cooper's my best mate. We're like a shit Anton Deck. Do you know what I mean?
The only people watching this like bikes, so they've just all fallen out with me. Yeah,
Is that,
really nice
why,
guy.
that's why
He's
you're a
a
good part of the podcast, because you are that outside opinion. That's your role
Yeah, it's
in
realistic
this.
then as well, isn't it?
outside opinion.
And the comedy aspect. So yeah, so I want him with me when I'm down the trails, and I want in there. So your job today, Ad, fix him,
Let me loosen up.
heal him, and get him out with us.
Okay, let's go.
I've written down a few things here
Drum roll.
that I don't particularly like about the dog. So let me start by saying the new blue routes up Cannock Chase.
Yeah. Parish Trail.
I bloody love them.
I think everybody loves Parish Trail.
Do you know why? So back to berms. The berms are nice and solid. There's nothing to trip up over or smash you around. It's just lovely and smooth, and it's smooth. You whiz around, whee, and you just go up and up, and then you go on some nice bumps that are only like that.
He's on about the three just post out, which we had
It's
to
just
jump.
nice.
They're actually quite big rollers, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, but I don't mind. I don't mind that.
So that's good.
If there was sticky up stumps and
Roots.
and trees, it's quite open.
Yeah.
If there was trees there, I wouldn't like it.
Yeah, I do.
Let me tell you what I've written down here. So I can bunny hop.
Let's go. Oh,
Yeah.
that pop was it?
American or British?
Well, I kind of hold the handlebars, eat them up into the air, and then at the same time push forward so the back goes.
Yeah, so slightly American.
In between.
Yeah,
Okay.
in between. In between. Yeah.
No, don't laugh. I can't turn right on a bike.
Well, no, this is
Good
true.
start.
Like, whenever he hasn't been on a bike in a while, he'll go, "Give me a minute. I need to remember how to turn right," and he's going round left.
I just thought you could take up Speedway. Speedway, you only turn left.
Oh yeah,
What's that?
like Daytona, sort of.
Daytona.
They're making a left turn.
Giving it all of that.
Yeah.
And just turn left and drift.
They're making a left turn. But see, the turning right thing, I also can't look left
Okay.
on a bike. Right, so imagine you're riding along just on a concrete path, straight line. If I look left, the bike starts to wobble.
Yeah.
Look right, beautiful, fine. Just keep it straight. Look left, wobble. Can't turn right.
He has to like build himself up to be able to turn right for a bit.
Tight gaps. So there's a little. I'm using the Chase water here.
Yeah.
There's a point where there's two stumps just as you come past the rugby club that are way wider. They're probably your handlebars.
Yeah.
The handlebars and then the stump. You're not going to hit. If you hit one, you're not going to hit the other.
Yeah.
If you just go straight for the middle, you're not going to hit either of them. It's not even a danger to everybody else.
Yeah.
But to me, I'm coming up to it and I'm going, how the fuck is I'm going to hit them?
Do you breathe in?
Then I wobble it. Then I
Breathe in.
scoot a little bit.
Tight cheeks. Do you squint? What's it called? Squinch? You Do you squeeze your buttocks in as you go through them?
Yeah,
Try and make a
and
clench.
there's
Clench, that's the word.
There's two trees on the dog as well.
Quite a few trees in the
Just after where Go Ape is,
It's getting there, isn't it?
as you go up into the forest bit at the top of Birches Valley,
Yeah.
there's one point where there's two quite close.
I know where you are.
Yeah, and you can see the handlebar jumps out of them as well, can't you?
Yeah. You've been to like worn in.
I always panic and I start wobbling.
No, most people do that, to be fair. So, shall we answer the kind of first question?
Why I can't turn right.
Why
It's
you
probably a
can't
good
turn
place to start. Isn't
Okay,
it?
so obviously I've not seen you ride, which doesn't help.
Looks like that.
Too good, eyes closed.
To the left.
With slightly more fear.
So the first question I'd probably ask is, which foot forward are you? So which is your stronger foot?
I'm right-handed.
Yeah, so your feet. So which one would you
I'm
kind of...
right-footed.
So you know if you're
I'm not
going
very
along
people,
and you're just rolling, yeah.
Which would you...
How would you which foot would be on the front? You know, you've pedalled, you've stopped. Which one of you stopped is facing at the front?
Depends which knee's hurting the least.
And that answers quite a lot of questions as well.
Does it?
So, from experience, you'll probably you probably ride with your right foot. So people who tend to have problems turning right or left, it tends to be towards the kind of forward leg or forward foot, so the one that's in front.
Okay.
So what that does is kind of stagger the hips. So if your body position is kind of slightly off and your hips are staggered, what happens is, because we don't stand kind of side by side, we're standing staggered. Your hips tend to follow that.
That makes sense, because you're like that, and then you're going to be.
So, like the left turns, do they feel like really nice and really easy?
Oh yeah, I can go around in circles.
Yeah, there you go. So,
because your left foot's down, you're going to be naturally left, aren't you?
So
that makes sense.
So if
so
you think
obvious
about
when he
your
explains
hips, like, if your hips are already facing that way, you're going to turn that way
You
a
don't
lot
want to
easier.
try and go that way.
Exactly, but then because that hip's forward and then you're trying to cross yourself, I call it a crossover, and it's when like your hands come in front of the kind of body.
Yeah.
So the kind of straight line through here, you are totally off. Where when I move my bum around and I kind of face Dave, everything's facing that way.
Yeah,
so
yeah.
I will go that way. So it's all about trying to get that body positioning kind of correct. And
Straight.
balanced, and central, and that will really help your kind of turning.
And turning your hips with the way you're turning.
You got to move those hips. The hips don't lie.
Yeah.
Shakira.
So there you go. To turn right, point your hips.
Move your hips. So like a great one to try is when you're in those berms, when you do eventually buy a bike, because I'm sure you will. When you go into those turns, think bum to berm. Bum to berm.
Point your bum at the berm.
So stick your arse on the berm, and what that does is in turn move those hips to help your face go around that corner. Alright.
There you go.
There you go. Now hopefully you can turn right, and we do.
Tick.
We need him to get.
We need
him. To get
vote now. Hit that like button.
Yeah.
Should he get a bike?
when we hit 5,000 subscribes, Cooper will buy a bike.
Hey,
On
can't buy
YouTube.
this
Yeah.
at subscribers.
It's 4,000 something already. You need to make it like
No.
10,000 subscribers on buy a bike.
Let's do it. Let's
Yeah.
do it. Hit that like
He's
button.
coming to Hard Rock.
if he needs to. What?
Yeah, no,
Off-road jack.
the plan is, because like you've got all the stands there, and they just give you bikes to test. So
Oh, wicked. So you can just hire a bike and just go.
get
around.
some
the
bikes, yeah.
special water vodka, drink alcohol.
Water vodka.
Yeah, they've got alcoholic water there.
No,
like-
alcoholic
Yeah.
water.
That's dangerous.
It was dangerous, especially the day
That's
before.
what this is, really. I'm not drinking water.
Alright.
That's
Good. We fixed one issue.
And it definitely ain't smart water, it's council pop, so.
I just have the bottle to look posh.
council water.
Council pop. Question 2.
I mean, I've almost covered all my points already. So
Okay.
yeah, the can't turn right. The left thing, that's just a weird me thing.
So
I
is
guess.
that the same? That would be the hips thing again?
That'd be balance, yeah. So if your balance is kind of slightly off, you will always feel a bit more comfortable looking way. Because your body's already kind of facing that way, you'll be able to look around. But if you turn your body that way now and then look that way, you feel unbalanced.
Yeah.
And then if you put yourself on top of a bike,
It's even
that's going to
worse.
be even worse.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
Tick.
Ticking that box.
Yeah.
He's going to be a pro rider just
Yeah.
from sitting down.
I'm going to be
Maybe
going
that
down
can be a thing.
The Mexican
That's it.
Mexican ways.
I can bunny hop. We've
We need
established
to
that.
see this bunny up.
We do.
We need to see this
We need
bunny.
to see the height of the bunny hop.
Should have put a bike in.
I go over an average puddle
An average puddle.
with one of
I've never
them.
seen an average puddle.
Well, imagine that's a big puddle. That's
Yeah.
half a puddle.
Oh, dude.
And something in the middle of
Can
there.
I take you home? My face is hurting already.
When you go into like B&Q to buy some wood, you're like, I need it about 3 puddles wide
Can I have average
and an extra half a puddle.
And an extra half a puddle.
Average length of wood, please.
But what? So tell me the difference between an African bunny hop and
And then African bunny hop.
American bunny.
American bunny hop.
So the English bunny hop, frustratingly, the English one isn't as useful. So it's one that
It's the one I can do really well.
it's super important for kind of beginners because it does kind of teach you quite a lot of actual kind of compression of the bike and getting you moving and getting you actually popping upwards, which is really important. So the English mount is 2 wheels both at the same time. Why do you think not the most useful technique? So going back to your average size puddle, if you have to use the English bunny up, so both wheels both at the same time, so say that's your puddle, if you've got to jump that puddle, why wouldn't it be...
Your back wheel's going to land in half a puddle.
Yeah, so essentially, if your average size puddle is that big, and then you've got your bike length, you
see the average size puddle is coming useful.
Yeah, I'm just using it because it just made me laugh. So you are jumping average size puddle plus your bike length. So it's a massive bunny hop. So you're going to need speed.
But an American bunny hop, your front wheel goes up here. And then your back wheel comes down there.
So you only ever jump what the actual kind of feature is.
I need to master an American bunny hop still.
We will master it on the next one. We'll get you. I think I know why as well. So this is going to be interesting.
I can do it but not like a bit. It's like a bit up and a bit down. It's not like the ones that you do. Where you're like, whoa.
Yeah, that's what mine is. It's barely a third of a puddle high.
We're going to start using puddle measurements.
That's it.
Well, puddles are about that deep.
all puddles.
Your average puddle.
Your average puddles.
My puddle's half that deep.
So, have you seen the puddles at Cannock Chess? They're like small ponds. I swear someone got fishing.
But what I can't understand now is when I'm bunny hopping.
Yeah.
The only physical way to get all the wheels off the ground for me is to pull the handlebars up. Yeah. And then yeet it forward so that the back comes up as well, almost in a sort of whiplash.
Yeah.
And his head goes like this.
Yeah.
You're saying that you can jump a bike in the air and both wheels come at the same time?
I find that easy.
Are you using your sheer fitness level to just lift the bike as you?
To be honest, I couldn't. It's one of those because I grew up on BMXs and lived on BMX for most of my youth, and it's one of those that I just hop onto curbs and hop off curbs sideways. And I think from doing, and then we'd put stuff down that street and see who could jump the stuff the highest. But I could jump stuff the highest, but by doing that, not like.
How interesting.
I don't know how to do it.
Did you do that as a kid?
No. So I had a bike as a kid, but it turned out that after about 3 years of owning this bike, the chain had always been jammed. I was really fit because I was all. I remember.
So you're breaking it down now. Add psychology back to his youth.
I remember getting this
building
bike,
the story.
Getting this bike, and I was like, "Oh, this is difficult." And my dad going, "You'll get used to it. You'll get used to it." It's really,
you have massive strong legs.
I've got pretty good legs.
Yeah, it's got good legs. You can't see them, but they're good.
It's always really difficult. And about 3 years after owning this bike, we took it to down Chase Town, was it Sanders Cycles, and I went, "Oh, you changed. Oh, let's just fix that." And I remember driving it out there.
Your legs went.
It's like your first year.
Honestly, the bike had been fucked for 3 years.
And that explains why he hates bikes.
Yeah. By my mum and dad's house, there's one of them sort of. There's the estate, and then there's the path into the little bit of wood area. They've left a little bit of trees. Yeah. But it was down a slope, and it was to one of them slopes where there's a gate like that and a gate like that, but you can't get through. You've got to go. Not that.
I love how aggressive everything is. Yeah. It's like stuff jumping out.
There's a gate coming at you.
And you sort of weaving around them. Yeah. I used to skid. And then skid again. Woof!
That's good. That's good.
But the road was right there.
Yeah, okay.
So you had to watch for cars.
Yeah, cool. Yeah. But skidding's good, yeah.
But I was a kid and there was a little bit less.
Do a skid?
Yeah, definitely. Do a skid? It's a cool name, by the way. I love Do a Skid. Good for a podcast. It's such a cool name. So, whoever thought of that?
But yeah, so I'm going to try these things. I'm going to keep my body straight.
Body positioning. Just tweak those, get those wrists down. There we go. Not overly, just a little bit. There we go.
Feather the brake.
Feather the brake. Tickle the brakes, those fingers. And then get
not your little fingers.
The little fingers, and then get that nice simple
That's something else. I'm just thinking about the brakes. I'm going downhill.
Yeah.
On something I'm really hating.
Yeah.
Both of my hands are on the brakes, ready to just go.
Yeah. Which is all your problem.
Maybe we just cut his brakes like at the top.
Or just put WD-40 in the discs.
Yeah.
It's a great
Oh,
way.
no.
Na 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 na.
Piss out of that. I do skid a lot. If I'm going down a hill on the dog, I'm
On the back brake.
all the way down.
Modulate.
Whereas I watch these doing it, they brake, but they don't skid. They just slow down.
There's that little sweet spot.
Is it a sweet?
I call it.
I am yanking them
and that's
brakes.
the problem. Yeah. So it's being kind of delicate with them and trusting that your brakes are going to work. And there's an actual course for braking. So understanding what brakes do, using the float of the actual lever. So there's that bit. You know when you don't touch your brake and it's all right like that. And then you're pulling your brake, and there's that bit that does nothing.
Yeah.
So just moving the actual fluid around, and then it starts biting on. That bit I call the kind of float of the lever. So that bit sometimes when you're scared and in that like higher anxiety, if you're pulling the lever, that split second of it doing nothing can actually cause you to overbrake. So
you're already in the floaty fluid
that's
area.
it, yeah. So you've pulled it, your brain's gone, I've done something, but nothing's happening. So then you'll grab it even more, which will kind of create this kind of anxiety. So when you're going into a kind of a steep slope, what I coach is just pulling in that float. So you're not braking, but you're. I don't know if you've seen.
It'll brake when you want it to brake.
Yeah, that's it. Have you read the Chin Paradox?
Yes. Yeah.
You read the Chin Paradox?
I'll tell you exactly what the Chin Paradox is.
Go on. It's a good book.
An infinite amount of chimps
No.
have an infinite amount of paradoxes.
That's the wrong book.
It's a leftover evolutionary part of your brain from like survival mode, which is like your Neanderthal bit. It's like your chimp, and it's like when you get angry, road rage. It's you got your frontal cortex, which is shaped the pineal gland, and then you've got.
I was going to explain it a lot easier than
Yeah. You got your chimp, which is going, and it's going, shout, kick off, be afraid. Yeah.
So the easiest way, remove the big posh words that will need googling later. You have your human brain and then your chimp brain, and essentially your human brain will be the thing that says, right, I want to go and ride down that slope, and then your chimp brain is the thing that shits itself. So your chimp brain will always answer or question your human brain.
Okay.
Cooper is pure chimp.
Pure
So
chimp.
every time you ride
chimp.
now, as soon as the chimp comes in, I want you to be going woo all the way down. But so that's what causes. You probably see it on like the kind of GMBM files and stuff where people are riding, they get right to the kind of end of a jump or a drop, and then just shit themselves and pull the brakes on. That's the chimp. So that's the thing that's
Fight or
jumping in. Yeah, fight or flight.
Cooper's just all flight.
It jumps in and it spoils the day. And actually, if you hadn't have braked and just gone off it a little bit twisty, you've got more chance of landing than what you have pulling the brakes on kind of last
And I think it's trusting that your bike can go down that as well, that you can go down it. It's like you said, it's that fear that, I'm not going to do it, so I'm going to brake all the way down.
And if when you ride as a kid, you ride down slopes and you get used to that feeling of a slope, because a slope will give you G-force. So there's that movement going forwards, and then once the slopes kind of go out at the bottom, you'll get that G-force at the bottom, which is why sometimes you see people get pulled off the back of the bike.
We used to go down a bit on the BMXs. It's not there anymore. It got torn down. They built the top. It was called the U-dip.
U-dip?
Yeah, the old U-dip. And
like a proper
U-dip. We'd get down on the BMXs.
Amazing.
Go off the end, and literally every time we'd see how high we could get, and then just throw the bikes on and we'd see who could get the highest by jumping off the bike and landing on your feet.
Like the old, what they used to call it, the ghost.
Yeah.
Do you remember doing that, like jumping off your bike?
Yeah, and you just let it roll.
I've done that, yeah. And then chase after
I
it,
did that
grab
once
it
and it hit a car.
I think Cardi and his missus have just started doing it again, jumping off the bike and then after it and getting.
That's the first thing I'm gonna do when I go out Saturday.
The only problem is the bikes nowadays you don't want to be doing it with.
No, that's probably, I probably don't want to do that on my like $5,000.
Do it on your chopper.
Yeah, I don't
no, definitely don't do it on your shop.
Although I have got a BMX frame, wheels, handlebars,
Maybe that could be a thing.
and I've got it all there ready to build, because I want to build So we build a BMX, so that we'll do that. Okay, so what I wanted to fix for Cooper as well is his fear of those roots, rocks, or anything, and getting off. At some points, he'll just get off and go, I ain't doing that.
Yeah, and just walk around it.
So what do you think?
So again, I've not seen you ride, so it's really hard to kind of know for definite. But a lot of the time, it's because those small features, those rocks and those lumps and bumps. Would it be fair to say that you ride quite tense on the bike? So you're kind of holding on, you're quite tense.
There's a little vein popping out here.
Yeah. So anything that's like anything over like kind of like that size.
About half a puddle.
About half a puddle.
Half a puddle depth.
Half a puddle depth of root or rock or anything that's hard substance that will make it.
Not like an actual puddle.
Not an actual puddle. So because you're so stiff, what's going to happen is the force of what that gives the bike, instead of it just being kind of brought into you and just kind of what's the correct term?
Absorbing.
Absorb soaks,
Like the shocks
whatever.
and stuff,
That actually comes straight through you. And
like when you jumped on your chair a minute ago.
Yeah, just like that. It's a little bit tense. You need it to relax. So if your body position is kind of slightly off, that's going to cause the actual tenseness, and then that tenseness is going to not help with roots and rocks and making them feel really awkward. So, what do you think about getting into some shapes?
Yeah, let's shape him up.
Do you think we should get him into some shapes right now? Shall we?
Shape me.
Come on, let's do it.
Shape me, Adam.
Hinge him.
Right, our heads will probably come off the camera. But so what I want you to do is think that you are on your bike. So get those feet. Let's turn you sideways so that the camera can see. What I want you to do is put your legs dead straight.
Can I just swap my knees?
Legs tired. So just straighten up those legs, like literally dead straight, and then just do a small soft bend. So just a small bend. No, with the knees.
Oh, sorry.
Just a little bit. And then what I want you to do is hinge over. So essentially a bit like a squat. So as you go over, stick your bum out. So think like happy dog, that's it, twerk. Just like flipping it. So a bit more, really stick that bum out. You should start feeling it in your hamstrings.
Feeling my hamstrings, yeah. I'm imagining that I'm going down the dog as well, so I'm a bit bumpy.
And then we're going to get that nice big D shape. So get those elbows up. That's it. And then just getting that nice hinge over, so staying over, go on, hinge, bend over, there we go, that far. So just getting the kind of nice hinge over, sticking that butt out, and don't let that butt kind of come back under, essentially.
This feels really hard.
It will feel...
It will, because when you've got no handlebars to hold
you're not quite
Yeah.
on the bike. There or there.
His back was, I was looking at the camera there, his back was nice and straight. Like
that looks like you're going shopping.
See, in my head though, I feel like I'm going...
No, that bum. So what you don't want is this. We don't want to be tucked under, so we want that, essentially. Twerk what your mother gave you.
I can't twerk.
Right. Enough of that twerking nonsense. And it's always a little bit weird kind of do it on the flat, but it does allow you just to understand. And there's a load of stuff about weighting. So your head weighs about 5 kg.
He's dope.
Mine's about 8 or 9.
It's about 8 or 9 kg. So if you think about when your head drops forwards, if you just hinge forwards, that weight's going to go onto your hands. Mm-hmm. And there's a great quote that every coach uses, and it's heavy feet, light hands. So there's a little kind of caveat with that I add on, that you want to be dynamic, but keep your weight in your feet. But equally, so you said a bit earlier that you got like kind of tired legs. So is it usually stick on a back knee? So stick on a back foot, the rear foot.
Whichever's on the rear, then I'll swap them.
Yeah, so that usually tells me that your weight's probably too far backwards and you're standing on that back pedal too much. Okay. So a nice way of thinking about it is if you've got a scale on the actual pedals, 50-50. Yeah, so that keeps you nice and balanced then.
So your bottom bracket is almost like the central
that's
point,
it,
isn't it?
Yeah.
Your centre of balance.
Yeah.
So if you're back like that, it's not going to weigh.
They call it a cone.
And you're going to be...
So if you think that your butt kind of counteracts... Oh God, that's working out, mate.
That's just from bending over. I'm more
We really need to start doing some training for
I
this
do have
part.
that effect on people. I'm going all sweaty.
My glasses sweat.
That's because I lactate through my nose.
You what?
I lactate through my nose.
You lactate?
Yeah.
Do you know what lactate means?
Sweat.
Guys,
Yes, it does.
write in the comments what lactate means. Lactate is what women do at the breasts.
He's been saying lactate for years, and I've purposely never corrected him. Because it entertains me every time you broke it now.
I wonder if I always laugh.
I'm lactating, he always says
It's
it.
like, I'm lactating.
Bob from Fight Club.
Can we do this again, just because it's funny?
Yeah, whatever was
Yeah, regular.
So hopefully that will kind of help you when you do get back onto the bike. You know, if you take some time, just so when you get your bike at Ardwell
from Decathlon,
because I'm guessing it doesn't matter really. And this is the good thing about riding is that you don't need a $5,000 bike. They help you a little bit and suspension and all that, but
yeah, you don't get no dropper seat from Decathlon.
yeah, that's it. So as long as your body position is really, really good, you should be able to ride anything quite good. So one of my friends that I was riding with today, Ben, he rides bikes that are 15, 20 years old, and he can still shred on them just like anything that's like 5, 6, 10 grand bike. So good body position.
So when you do get a bike, before we do anything, we're going to go out,
Some car
get some
park.
balance.
Yeah.
We'll send some pictures to Ad.
So yeah, you can send me some pictures and I can, if I'm not coaching at the time, I'll be like, yeah, stick your butt out, move your head. He knows what to do.
Knees bent, arms stretched, rah, rah, rah.
And on that note, no joking.
Right, do you think we fixed him?
I feel fixed actually.
Yeah.
That does really sort of energise me and make it mad.
exorcised the demons. This house is clear.
Praise the Lord.
I can actually sense the
Praise the Lord. The
vibe.
Skillsloop. Oh God. Well, it shows that. It shows, yeah,
Hopefully this is the start of a new era then.
I hope so, because riding's always good, isn't it? And especially
And you want
with
when you're
friends.
enjoying it, you want your friends to enjoy it with you. So you want to share that. And for me, it's not just about the riding. Like, because I own my own business as well. For me, it's meditation.
Yeah.
Like
That get away.
that moment, being in the forest, away from everything. And I always refer to it's like a fast-paced game of chess, but with your life, because you're flying down a hill. You've got to split decisions. What am I going to do? What's coming up next? What's going there? You're making those fast decisions, but you're not just making the decisions as a game. You're making that decision because if you get it wrong, it's going to go wrong. and that somehow clears the brain. I find, and just
it's a bit. I mean, I know that you do yoga martial arts, and I used to do martial arts years ago, and it was because you're so focused on that, and going back to that chess. Like concept that you just used, all about that 6th move, the 7th move, and thinking forwards. He's trying to think of that next thing.
I'll be coming up with something, and all I'm thinking about is cardiac health.
well, I'm not going to do that, and I'm not going to do that.
I'm not going down the bomb hole.
The what hole?
The bomb hole.
The bomb hole.
Well, that's the thing he always goes about, the names.
Yeah.
He hates the names. Of the
Why
places.
would you call something that's supposed to be nice and you're enjoying yourself the murder pit? Screw you, Lane. Call it
Death Valley.
Yeah, call it.
The one you kicked off with was when we did the monkey took you down there and it was Devil's Staircase.
Devil's Staircase.
Well, I ain't going down anything called Devil's Staircase.
It's even more funnier now because there's no stairs anymore. It's just all
Well,
nice.
it's just devil.
It's just devil. Devilish corners, they should be called.
Yeah, it wants to be called The Wind in the Willows. You know what I mean?
Just suck
It breeze the trees over the dark.
Yeah, I can breeze the trees. What's the one?
The End. That's a good one.
God, I said it earlier. The Bridge under the Trolls or Trolls under
yeah.
What's that one called now?
I'll skip that one.
That one, anyway. There's definitely good no trolls underneath there. I've looked.
Yeah.
I've watched our
There's
friend
a few
Wayne
trolls
there.
in Cannock, but they ain't under that.
Especially on a night time at Starcup.
So now we'll move on to some questions that have been added via your socials. And if you don't follow Adam on the socials, it's just at Skillsloop
Skillsloop
on everything. So
Skillsloop.
please follow for more hints and tips like this. Check out the rides that he's doing with people. And just always great content, always quality stuff, and there's always a few competitions and things you're doing as well. So
always trying to give back a little bit. You know,
Mince pies. Oh, I love Adam. Over his Christmas social last year.
Mince pies. Yeah, I didn't get to do
Yeah,
one.
about mince pies boxes.
Everybody met me too this year. Like Christmas, I think it was like all those weekends was done off, and I just thought, so jumped on the Charles Dunpose Bills ride.
Oh yeah.
I'm going to miss your ride this weekend.
Yeah, Saturday.
Yeah, so that's a bit good.
We'll have to do a joint one or something soon, won't we?
Yes, that'd be good.
Yeah, the two wheels one was good.
That was wicked.
Yeah. Speaking of which, Two Wheels now, twowheelsonly.co.uk are offering all subscribers 15% off. They're based in Tamworth, and they're awesome shop. They're the one that they've got a big buzz inside.
It's so cool.
Which is a cafe. It's
if
like
you've not been, you've got to go.
It's like a mountain biker's heaven. You walk in there, it's just massive.
The team's just great as well.
Yeah, they're all mountain
like,
bikers.
Just all proper mountain bikers, and you go in, talk rubbish all literally. You can go in and spend 2 hours drinking coffee, eating cake, and just talking bikes.
I'm wondering why there's a bus in there.
I'm wondering how they got it in there is the question.
I love the way that was just the thought process of
I'm going to put a buzz in here and turn it into a cafe. I've just got my lad's new nuke-proof Cub Scout from there and booked him a Skillsloop course, half-day Skillsloop course with Adam to get him into.
So cool.
He's 7 now.
That's going to be good for him.
Yeah,
and all bikes come with 2 wheels.
Well, not all.
From 2 wheels they do. Is what I mean.
Okay, I'll let you off that.
So and what Ad said to me as well, you do like make it fun for the kids and stuff, like do games and stuff like that, which I feel like if we ever book Cooper course, that's what we should probably do for the kids.
Yeah, we'll get the cones out and the planks and
and you could put your mince pies every time you do something.
But you can't say plank of doom, can we?
No, it used to be the plank
of fairies.
The plank of fairy destiny.
With a mince pie at the end.
Loads of Haribo. Do you like Haribo?
Yeah. The heart-shaped ones or the egg ones.
So the Star Mix.
There we go.
Yeah, right.
Pavlovian conditioning.
I will make sure that should there be a day that we come together on a coaching course.
The Haribo shop down the road.
Oh, that's amazing, isn't it?
Just bags of the hearts. They do boxes.
Yeah, I went in there and spent way too much.
Oh, yeah.
It was just like bags of stuff. Licorice is my one. I love licorice.
Yes. Oh, I hate licorice.
I love it. I had so much for Christmas. It's Kat will be like nothing right there.
Shout out to Kat as well, by the way, before we break up.
So
let's bring her up there. There's Kat
she
on the
is,
screen.
my lovely other half, better half, girlfriend. She's been absolutely.
They say
awesome.
behind every good man is a great woman.
An even better woman. And it's true. Like she's helped me so much through all those kind of tough times, and especially when like business kind of goes quiet, because it does. It's a massive roller coaster. You're either flat out, really really busy and can't get booked on, or it's like it's weeks and weeks of no work. And she's the one that really keeps me kind of motivated and just keeps pushing me. So awesome. Massive shout out to Kat. Thank you, love you.
Did you ever get it when you got sweat between your fingers?
You really do sweat.
You're lactating between your fingers now.
Lactating between your fingers. It's when you start sweating in between your crotch. It gets a bit uncomfortable.
When you don't wipe properly. I've got a nice pair of
thumbs.
It's spat water all over the mic.
It's the same material as lycra, not lycra.
It's like polyester.
PVC, rubber.
Latex.
I think it's polyester, isn't it? It's like that stretchy.
Yeah, it should be like bamboo and stuff now, isn't it? That's the new thing.
Bamboo?
Yeah. I like bamboo,
why am I looking? But bamboo?
Not woody. I've
I've
got bamboo socks, man, honestly.
I'm not touching your pants.
Bamboo socks are super comfortable as well. And they're lactate resistant.
And they're
that you sweat.
The poo resistant, lactate resistant.
Bamboo pants.
Bamboo pants.
Right, let's get back on this.
So let's get on to the questions then, shall we?
Question time.
Yes.
Our first question is from Smithy. As a coach, you teach riders how to overcome their fears, but what fears do you have when riding and how do you overcome them?
Good question, that's a deep one. Just before I answer that, I just want to say a massive thank you to everybody that did actually kind of partake in this question time, because it just lets you guys be a bit more of this podcast, so massive thank you.
And that is deep.
When that question dropped, I was like, oh shit. I was like, that's deep. Like, that's going in. So, teaching riders how to overcome their fears to what I do is, it's a bit strange because once you get to a certain level of riding, your fears change. So I don't tend to put myself in those situations now where I'm scared, because those are they're on that bigger scale, which obviously if if it does go wrong, it's a bigger issue, and then I can't coach, and everybody's unhappy because coach is broken, and I'm unhappy because I'm broken.
I suppose that's hard because some stuff you could do, but like if you did, I mean, you even saw the Red Bull Rampage guys come off. Yeah. It happened to you. It's not just you; it's people letting down your business. I suppose.
That's it. Yeah. The fear factors, they're definitely there, and a great example would Duffy Bike Park. If you've not been, it's a great place. It's really good fun. But one of their big drops on the Oakley line, I saw it and wanted to do it. So the one previous to it, the wooden drop, I would have liked to do it, but I didn't need to do it. And then I really wanted to kind of do the kind of second one, and they call it the tunnel drop or something like that. It's where the uplift truck goes through. And it's big,
I saw the picture. That was on your new proof Giga, wasn't
that was it?
Yeah, and I saw that, and I mean that's just something I'd look at and be like, nope, not a chance.
One of my mates, Shane, he actually rode up the edge, so we pulled up just to go and scope it out, and he just saw it. I was like, nope. Just like,
I'll get the picture
away.
up, actually. We'll put it post up there.
And that was one of those moments of where that fear, it wasn't so much fear, it was just like about trying to get it right. And that's the thing with coaching, is that you kind of sacrifice your own riding to help others, essentially. And you spend a lot of time kind of riding smaller kind of features. So that when you do go to these big bike parks, it's that big step, and it's quite kind of similar to what most riders get. And then I have to tap into that thing of just switching on that riding, because it's in there still. It's just a bit rusty. And then I did it, and I was burst. I was jumping up and down, and one of my close mates, Andy, actually turned around and said it was so nice for him to see me riding at that level, and to see that buzz and that stoke factor, because I'm always happy when they're doing their new like tick off features. And they got to actually see me do it. So it's a bit of a weird one. The kind of fear side of things, I tend to kind of stick to what I know now. But every now and then I will kind of chuck in a little fear factor.
It's like, I read a great quote by Bruce Lee in the Tale of Jeet Kune Do, and he said before every fight that he still gets butterflies, but he learned to embrace the butterflies and use them.
Yeah, and that's it. Also, that's the trust in what he knew. So he trusted his art. So you have to kind of trust your skill. And actually just asking that question, like, if you're used to a 2-foot drop and then you go into a 30-foot drop, you know yourself
that's 30 Subway sandwiches.
Yeah. How many puddles? That's a swimming pool.
Deep end.
That's like Garda.
There's 4 puddles in a Subway sandwich. That's 120 puddles.
How many bits of cheese and...
I don't want to go into.
That's a big question. So yeah, Smithy, hope that answered the question. And just going back to knowing what I'm actually capable of, and actually asking that question, is it worth doing? So I hope that's helped, Smithy. Thanks for the question.
That's good.
Single track scene mountain bike would like to know what you think the best upgrade on or with the bike is, after coaching, of course.
So after coaching, I think, and I'm sure that you will kind of agree, the best upgrade is your front. No, joking. A dropper post.
Oh yeah, the
like dropper post. Do you know what a dropper post?
I know what a dropper post is, and I just can't get my head around it because
it goes up and down.
I think I went on yours once, and I started here, And then by over here, it's like you know when an office chair is broken and you just slowly.
Think about that. A real kind of nice thought process is if you're going uphill, have it up. If you're going downhill, have it down. It's a real nice thought process. Yeah, simple. The hard part is when you're going through like kind of the kind of chase and it's a little bit bumpy, and I tend to have it halfway.
Yeah,
so
halfway house.
You've got that little bit of space to kind of move around, and that's when you have to.
If you want to crank a bit, you can drop onto it.
I struggle enough on a bike, fitting on it with the seat really high. How are you supposed to sit on a saddle?
You are tall though.
Yeah.
That's been
And
dropped.
you
all
don't sit on it. It's so you can drop your arse. And you know when I was hinging you earlier. Imagine trying to hinge while you're up here. You know, how are you going to get your arse down?
Right.
So people do ride with fixed posts, and some people are very good at it. But even in the kind of cross country world now, they're starting to use drop posts, and it's why the whole trail kind of design's changed. Like if you watch a cross country race now, it's basically a downhill track. It's really really rough kind of terrain because they've dropped that their kind of saddle. They can now start putting in the kind of bigger drops and. The bigger
They call them like, is it down country bikes or something like that?
Down country, yeah. There's so many different. You can see why people get so confused now of what bike to buy. Because there's so many different types of mountain bike and downhill bikes and cross bikes. So
Drop a post.
Drop a post.
Okay, so our next question comes from Paul Gill, who would like to know, how does Kate Hall keep winning raffles?
So thanks Paul for that one. So Kate Hall, big shout out to you. I guess Kate Hall does that because she enters them. You have to be in it to win it, and just like the kind of Skillsloop course, the kind of free courses, you got to be in it to win it. So
and luck.
Cooper's
very lucky. Like whenever we go to a casino, like I always lose. So I started from now on. I just give Cooper like 50 quid and go, that's my gamble. And then he comes back at the end of the night and gives me 50 quid. And that's how I gamble now because he's just so lucky.
Like that.
Next question comes from Jamie Gardner. What's the best mudguard used in 2022?
That seems a very lead question, doesn't it?
So Jamie is a very good friend of mine. He's actually one of the co-owners. So there's Jamie and Bruce. They own Mudhugger.
He just wanted to shout out.
So,
that's cool. I've got a Mudhugger on mine.
Big shout out. I've known them since day one. So when they actually thought of it around the kind of beer table, having a beer, and just thought that their guards were a bit rubbish. So can we make this better? And they worked really hard, and they've followed my whole journey from when I was racing and carried on kind of supporting me. So big shout out. It's Mudhugger, go on there, and I suggest the Evo one. It bolts on, super neat.
And I've got the big ass one at the moment, which I know is, even they admit it's not the most aesthetically pleasing one, but
it works.
I got it because it's winter and it's a mudguard, and I've got their nice little one for the summer.
The question is,
I'm a bike top.
Do you want to keep your bike clean and or do you
want to guard from mud?
All those pivots.
That's what I want.
Or do you want to be dry? So for a rear guard to work, unfortunately, it does have to cover your flick point off your.
And you can go on that website and like do your own stickers and that's fun as well. Which is quite cool.
I've always got a dirty arse after going on my bike. Jonathan Moore would like to know, how or what keeps you motivated to continuously turn up and push through for coaching other riders?
Good question.
That's deep again, isn't it?
It is.
Deep.
They're good questions, these are. So basically, the coaching itself is the thing. I kind of touched on it a little bit earlier, actually. That the actual coaching side of things is what I truly love, and it is definitely the thing that actually gets me out of bed. Like, I love a coaching day.
Brilliant. And
the fact that I can say that and it's my job, I mean,
that's great.
It's awesome. The whole backside of it, of doing all the social media and all that jazz. If I could kind of skip that bit, I would, because it is just time.
Do you still love it like in that rainy, it's rainy, cold, and do you prefer it in the summer, or is it just for you it's out?
I always feel for the actual customer, and if it's tipping down rain or if it's freezing cold, I will tend to kind of cancel and kind of reschedule, and it's only because, like,
just for their benefit.
Yeah, kind of going back to the phones don't work in the tipping down the range, so they then lose that aspect. I always tend to watch that weather, and if I can see it's going to be heavy. The frustrating one is, and it happened just recently actually, there were 2 days, both forecast to be really heavy rain all day. When it's black cloud, 2 raindrops, flooding and all that jazz, and it never did. It was just showers, and it really tipped me off, because that is a day lost essentially for me. So then that moves into another one. But I'd rather lose a day and somebody get a good course than just stick it on and stand there in the peeing down the rain. No fun.
With your brolette.
Yeah. I've actually thought...
Move your bum up, please.
Have you seen those hats? They're going roller hats. I so want one of those. Just like a Skillsloop.
Very good, very nice.
With a jacket for skills.
Skills, lucky.
Catch this beach ball.
Very good, very nice.
Thank you, Jonathan, for that.
Thank you, Jonathan.
Darren Coley would like to know, what are your thoughts on trail conditions throughout the chase? And do you think that the off-piste is now better than the official trails?
Good question again. So trail conditions, obviously Cannock Chase is one of the most used trail centres in the UK. It has a massive footfall. It is kind of taken care of by a kind of voluntary dig team, so I'm on that dig team. I know how hard it is and how slow going it is. So literally a group of 20 people, you're lucky to even get to the top of one trail, and there's so many different sections.
It's the braking berms that piss me off. Like
the braking bumps.
The braking bumps. Sorry, not berms. Braking bumps where you've got those little butts where people have brake because.
That's me.
And the actual kind of chase trails team, we are working around and trying to get that. So we was on Lower Cliff only a couple of weeks back, and we went up and deburred all the berms, so got rid of that, because as soon as you get a slight trough, the water goes in it, and it just gets lower and lower and lower and lower, and that's when you start getting all those puddly corners. And yes, it's mountain biking, yes it rains, yes it's the UK, but it does take the fun out of it a little bit. I mean, all you're doing is just splashing through borders, and especially for us specky wearers,
I don't even
it's
bother.
an absolute nightmare. So like,
I don't even bother wearing my glasses. Not that
I can't see anything. I'd be bouncing off every tree in the wood. So yeah, the actual trail conditions, I'd say if you haven't already, jump onto a dig day and actually come and help. The forestry team, Emma, got a big shout out to you. They do want to kind of work.
Yeah, I've seen her walking trails.
Yeah,
actually.
she works really hard. She was out there today with a big kind of flatbed, sticking posts in. And that's one more thing, is that people say about the kind of cost of things, and they should start putting more cash into it. But what people don't know is that part also goes into fire roads, it goes into all the kind of signage. So when you get all the kids start drawing blue penises on signs and cutting them off, all that has to come out that part. It all costs money.
And I suppose like the fencing they've put, like the bottom of the Monkey Lower Cliff now as well. There was some little off-piece bits down there, and they fenced those off. And then somebody created some cut down that went. As you come down Lower Cliff, there's a cut off down with that, which had to be fenced off. But
just learn how to go around corners.
I think that's annoying as well. Like, you don't need an off-piece bit there. No. And the idea of where the trails are positioned, you've got to protect the forestry as well. Those outside of that are protected areas. So you've got, even though off-piece is cool, you've also got to respect the protected areas, or else you're not going to have anything at all.
Definitely. I mean, the fences only tend to go in when there's a high risk. So basically, if that person took that more extreme line, and then you've got kind of Dave with his son or daughter coming round, and then they shoot out and they get hit, then there's going to be issues. And so
Dave and his daughter.
I don't know why Dave jumped into my head, but it's the first name that pinged into my head. So, so the fences will tend to go up when it's a high risk.
Yeah. And that's cost.
Yeah, it's cost, and it's time that whilst they are fitting their kind of fence posts kind of in there, they
could have been filling in the braking bumps.
Yeah.
So we can come along to dig days.
Yes, so dig days. There's about 28 spots available they're hoping that will get bigger. So it's once per month. The next one's the 15th, I believe.
Okay.
So 15th of Feb. You fill in 4 forms, kind of right at the start. That's your health and safety.
Yeah.
You need toe cap boots.
And how do we find out about this?
So you jump onto the kind of Chase Trails page. So they've got a Facebook page, so they post it on there, or actually get onto Cannock Chase Forestry.
Okay. We'll put a link in the description.
Drop a link down.
So if anybody wants to come and fix it yourself.
Yeah, and it's a good chance for you to actually voice your thoughts and stuff to the forestry, because they do listen, they feed it back. You can also write a kind of letter to them, and they do feed it through.
Cool.
It's like, I really want a skills area. Yeah, it's funding it, and that's always the key part. But what they're doing at the moment with the car park, that's going to free up some cash.
Yeah.
I mean, so the admin cost of having some people there, that will go. So all that helps. And the whole off piece. I think what people kind of forget is that Cannock Chase is a family trail, and that when they start riding at Bike Park Wales and these more extreme places, is that they are purpose built that way.
Yeah. There is no off piste at Cannock Chase.
There is no off piste.
There is no spoon.
Like tech, so tech riding, steep tech is what I love.
Yeah.
And that's my type of rider, and I absolutely love it. So I get why people kind of get into this off piste, and you'll never stop it. And the kind of forestry know that they only mind really when it starts getting, people start building gap jumps and jumps that are made out of
there's a new one saw the other day.
Oh yeah.
I'm not going to say exactly where, I'm just going to say nearish to the golf club way.
Oh yeah.
I discovered it the other day. It's mid being built, and it looks like it might be quite cool.
It's the problem is when you get the kind of young guns who watch kind of Matt Jones build something kind of overnight, and then they start getting sticks together and building berms, and that's where it becomes dangerous, because they leave stuff sticking out, and that's where it all becomes, and gaps, get big gaps and drops, and it's all down to insurance and all that jazz, and it all adds risk onto the trail. So I hope that's answered your question.
Sign up for a dig day.
Dig day,
I'm
get
definitely
digging.
going to do that now.
Digday.com.
Digday.com.
I'm going to bring Cooper.
Thanks, Darren. Right, I think Richard wants your job. Richard Lindley asks, if somebody has been riding for a few years and considering coaching, what do you suggest they focus on first?
I swear by core skills and...
Does he mean considering coaching, teaching coaching, or having coaching?
I think having coaching.
Oh, well, I thought he meant he wanted to be a coach.
Okay, right,
Yeah, great if you do.
I had an awkward phone call with Adam.
How do it? He wouldn't have been the first time, right?
Sorry, yes.
So, like the kind of core skills, so literally check your body position, so actually kind of film yourself and check that you are in that body position. Get in your kind of compression, your pump technique, your front wheel lift, your rear wheel lift, your bunny ups, all your core skills. So that's your core skills for jumps and drops. And then when you're doing like cornering, just making sure that you've got good bike separation. So kind of using cones, stuff like that, really, really help. And film yourself. And obviously, could book a coaching day. It is the faster way of learning, and some people.
The one thing I noticed,
kind of cheap way.
You very much tailor it to the individual, which is useful.
And sometimes like people will kind of book on, and they'll phone and they say, I can ride the blacks here and the reds here, and actually when they get onto the kind of day, and what they realise is that they were actually just getting through that trail and not actually riding it.
Just got bigger balls. That was what it was. Not so much of a skill.
The whole point of them being on that coaching course is that they've realised that they need some coaching, and that you don't need to tell them that. They practically could tell me. But what's really cool is when they start sending you Strava times, like in like 2, 3, 4 weeks time, and they're riding the same trail as what they've ridden in the past. And they're sending me stuff. I mean, get some nights on there, and I'll be watching TV and a bit, and it will ping through, and I'll look, and it's somebody who sent me a video of them doing a jump or a photo or a Strava, and I'll be showing Kat, and it's good. It really gives you that kick, and that's the bonus for it. So,
awesome.
Hopefully that's.
I want to throw in a question now. Okay.
So David Whitehouse from Burnwood says,
I've got a question. So I read a book once. It was about a guy who was a really professional golfer, and he's like the best of the best of his field. And he was told to write down how he did it, write down everything, and create a book on how he was so skilled at golf.
No.
And then the simple act of him writing that down, thinking about it, like when he made him overthink it, and then he couldn't do it anymore.
I'm really scared.
It made him really bad. Do you know what I mean? Because he overthought it, and then he was overthinking everything. Do you ever have anything like that where you think because you teach it that you start to overthink stuff?
Honestly, the only thing that ever I get that question, that little person on the side of my shoulder, is jumping. So jumping is always one thing that I have to work towards.
Yeah.
And I think if
You're very good at it.
I feel that when I watch myself back, I could be better.
Okay,
But like my trials background, when I first started jumping, it was hilarious because I used to jump and then just get the actual back wheel to the lip, so the gaps wouldn't bother me. As long as I knew I could get my back wheel to that lip,
So you'd be like that.
I'd literally just pencil through, back brake on, hit it, and then. And my mates, so kind of back in the day, used to just be like, "How do we do? You can't do that," you know. And he's sketchy as.
Yeah.
But I was like, what? Because I was so used to going back wheel to everything.
Yeah.
And then obviously you learn that you have to start pushing your front wheel in, and like kind of back then, sticking your front wheel into anything was a big no-no. I mean, if you watch trials now, you'll see they do go onto the front wheel now, so it's changed a little bit, but jumping is definitely my one where sometimes, especially with the big stuff, if I've not jumped big for a while, going back to Dovey, that feels like you're going up the side of a house, you know, they're massive. So you're going from Cannock Chase, where you've got to jump this big, to kind of 18 foot high.
Yeah.
You kind of think,
yeah.
But you know, it comes back, and then you go back into that old way of kind of jumping. And
So follow-up question, my second question, which I might as well follow up that because you mentioned the trials side of things. Do you think doing trials first for any younger, like, again, as a kid, as I say, I rode BMX. So on a BMX, I could like do an endo, go back, stand on my stunt pegs, jump around, bounce on my stunt pegs, like put one foot, spin it around or whatever. But then I find I can't do that, like on a mountain bike. Do you know what I mean?
because there's no stunt pegs.
Yeah, because maybe there's no stunt pegs, but I feel like there's not so much of a crossover.
Yeah.
There, but trials, obviously, you're similar size biking. So do you feel that benefited your mountain bike skills?
Yeah. So trials, what it does do, is give you that kind of core skill, so that balance, the kind of slow speed bike control. And what I see a lot of is people that come through is that they can go fast at stuff. So like jumping or kind of technical, actual trails, they can go really fast down them, but you slow people down and then they start going wobbly.
Yeah.
So they're just using that wheel rotation to keep them up straight. So trials forces you to be still. So like stuff like track stands, it's a real good skill that, you know, if you're coming into something blind and you can see the ground kind of drops away or something, rather than stopping and getting off and having to put your feet down, you can just get to the edge, start, have a quick look, spot your line, drop in.
I've been trying to practice that lately, actually,
That's
quite
good.
a bit more. But I do like that slow speed control. I need to think of that.
It's I always use the thing of go slow to go fast.
Yeah.
And
I'm gonna do that a lot more.
I like going slow to go slow.
Go slow to go slow. Yeah. But just building up that balance. So when people come onto a kind of steep tech course, which is usually a kind of more bespoke course, get them on steep terrain or steeper terrain, but kind of going back through that braking technique and getting them to go slow down. And because once you feel that you've got that control, you will then start going a bit faster.
Next one is from Simon Thayer.
Great questions.
Thank you.
That's a good question.
Simon would like to know, do we have an update on Viv the van?
Yay! So Viv is my van who's been a bit poorly. Getting better. Now it's gone a little bit warmer. She's starting first time. So which is you had to warm her up, you had to tickle her. You just have to get those glow plugs nice and hot. But yeah,
I used to have a Peugeot 106, sorry to interrupt you. And the way to start the Peugeot 106 was I had to rock it with my whole body weight. The whole car was...
Did you ever have a car with a choke?
Yeah.
My
dad had a Triumph.
Triumph Hell?
The Dolomite.
Oh, yeah.
And you had to pull out the choke.
Yeah.
Sorry.
No, it's good. It's so yeah. Thanks for asking, Viv. She's okay. That's my first vehicle I've ever named as well. So
why Viv?
It's a Vauxhall Vivaro, so it just seemed. Kat was like, "Shall we name it?" So Viv, and it's actually a super like kind of personable to me as well.
No.
It's all through my dad, so it's a nice personal touch. I get into it, and it always makes me feel happy. So it's not just the van. Up down, Viv. Thank you.
Stig would like to know, what's your opinion on using portable ramps?
Ooh, good one. So, have you used portable ramps before?
I've got one for Harrison. It's there. It's still in the box, and I'm planning to get it.
Yeah.
But I've not used it personally.
They're great. So, Trail Anywhere, who I've known for like quite some time, they actually make these portable ramps, and he brings them out all the time. And we just whack them on humps and lumps and
they're
dumps
good,
and stuff. Wicked fun, yeah. And for jumping, you can really learn that pop.
I'd feel a bit of a div though. Like if I'm gonna have a chase water, I just got out my own ramp.
Look at Sam Pilgrim. He
That's
sets
true,
up a full inflatable ramp, and
I feel like this old bloke with his old ramp.
I wouldn't mind. I'd have that strapped to my back for every average size puddle I would.
Jump in the lot.
Average, boom, send it. Yeah, like great fun, really good. They also do a kind of bunny up bar, which is really, really good for kind of jumping over stuff. And you can put that bar kind of behind the jump, kind of practice.
I want to go at that.
But it really, really good for kind of practicing kind of skills kind of out on the road. And we kind of, you probably did it kind of back in the day, you grab a piece of wood
ramps
and
down the street,
and just kind of build
boxes
them up
and wood,
kind of jump into it, like a banks and stuff.
And then you'd have all your mates lying down this side of it to see how many you could get over.
So absolutely worth the weight in gold.
Peter Jones is interested to know the best advice for a rider looking to regain confidence on steep stuff after a bad off.
Okay, so we kind of covered that a little bit. So you've not really put any detail of what the crash was, so I'm guessing it was a bad one. Just kind of step it back a little bit. I always, when people crash, or if I crash myself, I like to find out why I've crashed. Because if you find out why, like you've either just crashed for that reason, or it's because you were kind of too fast kind of going into the corner, or you were too far forwards, too far backwards, over braking. There's loads of these things.
Or your hips the wrong way.
Hips were the wrong way.
That's why if you were filming that.
Yeah, so to build up that confidence, kind of step back a little bit. And what I like to do is actually try and recreate the area that you crashed in, recreate that, but in a smaller scale.
Right.
So you can then kind of work on it. Build back up. So just by stepping back a little bit, build up that confidence, and actually just get out and kind of have fun again, kind of on the bike. I think people pressure themselves because of social media. You see all these fantastic riders, which is great, but sometimes they're so far out of reach because they grew up, a little bit like yourself, who didn't have that childhood of riding, like Matt Jones for kind of instance, he puts his posts up of when he was really, really young, and he's out at kind of skate parks and stuff, so they've been doing it a long, long time, and sometimes when people get into it, they push themselves to kind of go too quick, so just take the time, rebuild, and if you're still having problems, obviously just jump on a Skillsloop course,
the cheat code,
and we'll get you kind of checked out and see if there's anything. Because sometimes it can be bike setup.
I've been there, and it does make, going back to the chimp,
It shuts the chimp up.
Yeah.
It tells the chimp.
But I mean, that
do
fear,
right.
once you've had an accident, like, and you see that scenario again, it's off again. Yeah,
it does. Yeah. Hopefully that's
sound
your question.
advice there.
And I hope that you kind of fully healed as well from that crash, because it does suck.
Daz MTB wants you to do a shout out for him.
Shout out. So Daz opened or started a singles MTB dating UK Facebook page.
Yeah, I've seen that all over the socials.
Actually quite a good story, because he was on a course and he just kind of voiced that he was thinking about doing it, and I was just like, do it, mate, just go for it. And got back home, I had done the edit from the day and the photos, I was doing some social media, and then suddenly, bing, there's this Singles UK, and I think they've got over 600 followers now.
Yeah, they've got a ride out this Saturday, haven't they? Because he said he couldn't come to ours because they're doing a singles ride out.
And Saturday. They've also had a couple of couples actually find each other, which,
brilliant.
That's worth everything.
Was Daz's original motive to find a...
Yeah, he's single, himself, and he's well into riding. He's a real nice guy. And
so once you find a missus, Daz, are you just gonna give it up? It's worked now. It's over, or you gonna
pass it on to some of the
pass it on to somebody else? But he's well into it as well.
It's a good idea, very good idea.
So fair play, Daz. Well done, mate.
Can you come out on a ride out if you're not single? Because
they do say that it's open, but obviously
it's ideally single.
Yes, their whole concept, and the hardest thing, what I think with these type of things, is that the ratio to guys and girls, and then when you've got a group of 20 single blokes, and then you've got one girl, it's like chucking a blooming.
As long as you've got a good ratio, I suppose. If he's organising the rides like that.
Yeah, and as I say, there's been a couple now who have kind of found each other.
And if they have a child, then you, Daz, could have created a new human. You could be creating humans through this.
What you need to do is terms and conditions, that if that couple has kids, you need to say that their kid has to be called Daz.
Daz, middle name MTB.
Surname Singles. But well done, Daz.
Yeah, awesome.
Garrick Abrahamson would like to know, do you follow your own advice when riding? Do you tell yourself off when you get it wrong?
You're rubbish at Go and do it again.
I'm a bad boy.
You are rubbish. So the first point, do you follow your own advice? Yeah. So I literally do as I teach, essentially. So just making sure good positioning. Like most people, I think when you get to a bike park or something, especially when it's these far ones and you've been stuck in the car for 3 hours, your first couple of runs, I think everybody's done. I'm one of those people that it takes 2 runs just to wake up, and some of my mates will go full chat, and I'm just
we do that at most bike parks. Go down and do the blue or the red first.
For that point, definitely, I'm always wary that I've got people watching me because they know I'm Skillsloop. So if I'm riding like a T-Rex going down, they're going to be kind of calling up my number. So, and then do you tell yourself off when you get wrong? Yeah. So kind of going back to the jumps kind of theory. I'm my biggest kind of hypocrite. When I see the kind of photo back or the kind of video back, if it doesn't look right, I'll have to go and do it again. And it's partly to keep my own head happy, but also that I'm always aware that if there's stuff going out and people are seeing it,
I suppose that's a hard position to be in.
It's really difficult because people are kind of looking at me as the coach.
Nobody's perfect.
No.
And finally, from Luke Perry, how much riding is needed to keep your fitness level or improve it? Also, with cardio, what's the best muscle groups to work on?
Good question. So, first thing I need to say, I'm not a PT. So how much riding is needed to keep your fitness or improve it? So, just getting out and riding your normal kind of everyday rides will keep your fitness. Just being out there and riding is good for it. To improve it, so normally it's climbing. So then actually working on that. So this is where it gets difficult because like people tend to have 1 or 2 times per week to ride. So then it's dedicating at least one of those rides to actual fitness training.
Well, they're fun.
I mean, you can get spin bikes, which are fantastic for indoors, and a lot of people get very fit off them. But actual being outside riding, just doing...
You don't get Capri Suns thrown at you indoors.
There's no Capri Suns indoors. If it's hill climbing, I'd suggest like halving your normal ride and focusing on hill climb. So a great example would be Kayak Hill at Cannock Chase. You could do a climb, come back down the side, do a climb, come back to the side, do a climb back to the... So that would be your day's ride.
Or Star Cup.
Star Cup right up there.
That
will get you fit climbing up there. I would suggest don't focus just on your legs. So obviously kind of building up your leg muscle, weights, etc. And just actual kind of body weight and squats would be good. But actually building up your core strength, your arm strength, because the faster that you go, especially on trails, you're going to have more impact force coming through you, so you're going to have to be a lot stronger to hold that.
The core is like imperative to everything.
Core is everything, yeah.
Like when I was doing my ultra running training, like the one thing I just thought, I had to just run lots. But the one thing like PT told me then, and I read in lots of books and things like that, was working on your core, because at the end of the day, when you're knackered, that's the only thing going to be left holding you up.
That's it. So kind of building up that core, having a good strong core. One of the guys I know, he does calisthenics.
Oh, yeah. I've seen these guys, they're crazy, where they like hold onto a bar sideways and float in the air.
Just a human flag, and he can do all the walk in the air and window wiper and all that jazz, and he can literally go into any gym and hold his own, like even with the big ride heads, because they're only strong in those directions, where he's strong in every direction. Like he even does these like press up things where he's in a press up, he'll jump up and then go flat like a pancake, and then straight back into a press up, and then he jumps up onto stuff like at the side. You watch him, you're like, that's what
a guy who's big into that all-roundness is that Ross Edgley. Do you know him? The guy.
No.
He's the guy who swam around the whole of the UK.
Oh wow, okay.
You look at him, he's ripped as anything, but he's like a really fast swimmer. He hangs around with that Eddie Hall. Some of their videos they do together are quite good.
Yeah.
But he's into that all-round. Like it still looks big, but there's a lot of stuff.
I watched because I'm into climbing. I watched a guy who does. He's very into all that cow training, and he went into climbing, and it transferred so well. He was literally like climbing up the walls, and then just doing like a flag, and then coming back there and climb.
It's like going from trials to MTB.
Yeah. It was just so strong and so powerful. So just kind of. Just kind of thinking about which areas that you are working on. So if it is climbing, obviously leg strength, the kind of standing strength, and then your core strength, and cardio will come through as you're doing that. I personally don't like being in a gym and working out like for cardio. I'd much rather be out in the woods and getting fresh air down my lungs and like seeing, smelling, and then seeing friends.
There you go, right along, find a branch. Do some pull-ups.
There you go, yeah. And if you clipped in, you can keep that bike underneath you for weighted pull-ups. There you go. And just remember, I'm not a PT, so if you go and kill yourself, it's not my fault. At least that's all. So hopefully that's answered your question.
And that was the last of our questions.
Awesome. So I think that is a wrap. We have heard your history. We've hailed Cooper. Answered all the questions, and we've had a good laugh in between.
It's been wicked. Thank you so much.
Massive thanks for coming on.
Thank you for having me.
I can't wait to book on to my next course.
It's been nice. It's been absolutely wicked.
Yeah. Definitely looking forward to my next course and fixing my wonky in the air problem.
Easy fix.
Awesome.
We'll get it sorted.
If you ever wanted to shorten the name, have a bit of a rebrand, you could call it
Skillsloop. The reason why I went into that colour was because I had it on the side of my car. One of my friends done me a sticker for me, decal, and I was like, wicked. I put it on the side of my car, I was really happy, just started their kind of business. I pulled up outside of one of my mates' houses, and his mum come out, and what's Skillsloop?
Skillsloop.
Skillsloop, and I was like, is sloop a word, really?
It sounds sloshy.
I
doesn't it?
literally went home, jumped onto Photoshop and changed it into a different colour, and that's why. And it's gradually worked into that, and a few of those photos.
Sloop, I love it.
But
That's what I'm going to call you from now.
I also hate that it says kill and kills on it.
Oh, yeah.
So it used to say add adventure there. So if you see some of my first stuff and you see add adventure, that was so add and then dad adventure.
Oh,
so
okay.
there was like a hidden kind of thing in there good for me, but. Yeah, as it's kind of progressed, I've kept those for my own personal
You've used the Toblerone mountain. Yeah.
Toblerone,
It's not Toblerone Mountain because there's a bear hidden in the Toblerone
Yeah, there
Mountain.
is a bear. Yeah. Just before you do wrap it up, I just want to say a massive thank you to everyone who kind of supports kind of Skillsloop, including you guys. But you know, it only grows with you. So big thank you, and to all of my friends that keep pushing me and kind of supporting. I've made some fantastic friends through coaching, and I hope that continues. So yeah, big thank you from the heart. I mean it. Thank you.
Massive thank you for coming on and sharing all your wealth of knowledge with us.
It's been fun.
Yes. And that's a wrap.
That's a wrap.
Until next time.
Nibbidin.
Is that your new catchphrase?
But yeah, right at the end, I cried like a baby.
I'm in.
Right.
Animals of Fire in Wood.
Yeah, the fire.
Did you not watch the end?
Is there a new one?
Like an 80-year-old arthritic. Yeah.
Sounds like a transformer waking up.
next time it's.
Skilled! This podcast is sponsored by InLife Web Design and Digital Marketing. Smarter solutions to bring your website to life. Also, JCFX Media, shaping your vision through film.